Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. Today I'm going to break down the intro for Johnny B Goode by Chuck Berry. So this is the final instalment of my 12 Days of Riffmas series. At the time of recording, we're in December 2024. I'm running a competition where you can win a free lesson with me. There's some more information about that in the description to this video. Also, if you want the tabs for this, you can download them for free. Head to the first link in the description and that will take you to our private Facebook group. If you join the group and then go to the Files tab, everything I've ever done on YouTube could be downloaded as a PDF from there for free. Don't want anything from you. Right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today then. So we are looking, so we've got 4 slides to come across. So we've got the... then go to the... got that bit into... and then the final lick. So if I've done my job properly today, by the time we walk away from this lesson, after you've played all that, it should be down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans. It should take you to the verse. So we are in the key of B flat, and it's mainly pentatonics that we're using, mixtures of the first and second position. So we are going to slide into the 7th fret of the G string with our middle finger, please. Now it's really important that we use his middle finger because following that we've got the 6th fret on the B string and then the 8th fret on the string on the same string. And I'm going to slide from 5. It doesn't really matter where you slide from as long as you finish up on that 7th fret for me. Practice that for me. And I'm going down, up, down with the plectrum. Moving on, I'm going to create like a little bar. I'm going to bar the 5th fret of the B and the high E strings. Okay. I'm going to pluck that with a downstroke and then slide into the fret next door into the 6th fret. Following that, I'm going to pick those 2 strings another 2 times to create a group of 3. So you've got... We're then going to repeat that motion, that group of 3, 2 more times, so 3 in total. 1, 2, 3. Now would be a really good time to pause and get that under your fingers. If you want to use 2 fingers, you can, but I'd recommend you do the bar there. That's how Chuck's doing it. Keeping your hand in that position, we're going to take his ring finger and we're going to play the 9th fret of the B, followed by the 8th and then the 6th. Now a classical guitar teacher will probably tell you to use your pinky, your ring finger and your index, but I'm not going to lie to you folks, that's how I play it. I'm then going to move up to the G string and I'm going to play the 6th fret with the index finger and then I'm going to hammer to the 7th to create that. It creates that bluesy kind of going from the minor third to the major third sound. And then with the ring finger, I'm going to play the 8th fret twice on the D string. Take your time. Pause the video if you need to have a go at that. If we're feeling pretty brave, let's go to the next slide. So now, you know we slid from 5 to 6 earlier. We're now going to slide from 7 to 8. Now what I'd do is, I wouldn't bar this actually. I'd probably do this with... because it's part of a chord, okay? So I'm using the ring finger on the 7th fret of the A and then the pinky on the 7th fret of the D. I'm picking both of those dudes and then I'm sliding in and then I'm playing, it's all quavers, I'm playing the rest of the bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's 1, 2 and then 6 more of those dudes. Now I tend to, I'll put the octave underneath that. But if we're going strictly for what Chuck's doing, that's how he's doing it. Then I'm gonna continue this shape, and this is all based around this this major chord here, this B flat major Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the 8th, 7th and 6th frets on the D, the G and the B string to create this little ladder. I'm then going to pick the first 2 strings. I'm going to pick the D and the G. I'm then going to move my plectrum down and I'm going to pick the other 2 strings. Well, I'm going to add the B string, I should say. So I'm picking the D and the G, then I'm going to pick the G and the B. I'm then going to take my pinky and I'm going to press the 8th fret of the B string while still keeping this shape. Hear that change? And then I'm going to take that pinky off again to get the 4th note in that bar. Now if you're really struggling with that, you can just play the notes, the 7, the 6, the 8 and the 6. So if you play the higher notes, but Chuck's, that's how Chuck's doing it. He's doing it almost like dyads and a little baby chord, whereas when I play that in bands, I don't put the dyads on top of that. I'll just play the higher notes, the 7, the 6, the 8 and then the 6 again. But go hard or go home. If we're doing it, we're going to do it properly. Following that, I've got my middle finger on that 7th fret of the G. I'm going to pick that one more time. Notice how I've let go of the whole chord. And I'm going to slide down to that 5th fret, 3rd fret of the same string, and then 5th fret. Pause the video and get that on your fingers. I think this is one of the more difficult parts of this. If we're okay, we're going to go on to there. Now, I kind of like the way that this has fallen in the tab before you get sort of too carried away, because we've only got 4 notes to contend with all the way over here. Now, when we're bending this 8th fret, you're going to bend the 8th fret of the G, and it's going to be a full tone bend. So you're bending this note here, all the way up to here. So you're bending that E flat up to an F. Once you've bent it, whenever I teach this, people never bend that note enough. It's not what he's playing. I'm really chucking, look at this over here, I'm really chucking that note up. And I'm going down with the bent note and then an upstroke on that 6th fret of the B. And if you can mute that string at the very top, it'll sound even more authentic. And we do that 4 times. That continues over into the next bar, but see occasionally how we'll put, instead of just that 6th fret on the B string, instead of just that F note, we're also going to put this B flat on top of it as well. And I don't know if that's deliberate or whether it's just what he's catching at the time. I'll let you be the judge of that, okay? Now would be a really good time to say, if you haven't done so already, go get the PDFs, because you can start scribbling on this. If you've got the means to print it out at home, you can start scribbling on it all and sort of chunking it up into sections, okay? I think that's, with this sort of stuff that's a little bit trickier than just like a single riff on one string, like has also been in this series, you kind of need to dissect it a little bit to make it all stick. So going into the last bit, now don't get too scared about this. There's a lot here, but it's a lot of the same stuff. So we're going to bend that 8 and that 6 again, and we're going to catch the 6. Instead of catching the 6 on the 6 on the B string, we're going to catch the 6 on the high E this time. I'm going to walk back down that scale. You remember with my 3rd finger on that 9th fret, 8th fret, 6th fret. And then I've got like a little flurry up into the upper register of that scale. 9, 8, 6. I'm going to use my middle finger to catch that 8th fret of the high E string this time. And then 6th fret. And he's playing around in the major scale. That's what's going on there. And it's all the same distance apart. I'm then going to play those 3 notes again on the B string. 9, 8, 6. I'm then going to play the 8th fret of the G, 6th fret, and hammer immediately on onto that major third note, onto that 7th fret, and then I'm going to pick it a second time. Right, so you see where these V's are here? I'm going to put a pin in it there. We're just going to go from the beginning of the slide up to this point, okay? In fact, we're only going to pick that 7 once. The second time it's picked, 7th fret of the G string is part of the next lick, and we'll talk about those V's in a second. Again, now's a really good time to pause, take stock of where you are, and work on that. If we're okay to press on, those V's are downstrokes, and it's to symbolise almost like a rake. Now what I'm doing there is I'm picking the string just a little bit harder than I normally would, and I'm creating this sort of percussive. I'm just picking the notes a little bit harder, so much so that you can actually hear the plectrum attack the string. Okay? 9th fret, either with the pinky or the ring finger. 8th fret, sorry, not 7th fret, 8th fret. Then you've got bar on the 6, bend, and then we do that little shift again. Right, let's go from the start of the 3rd bar, because I feel like I rattled through that a little bit too quickly. So we've done the rake, we hit that 9th fret, starting in bar 3, we're going to come 8th fret with the middle finger, bar on the 6s, bend like we've done previously, bar, bend, bar. I'm then going to take my ring finger and I'm going to bar the G and the B strings on the 8th fret, let go, hammer on between 6 and 7, and then while keeping that 7th fret depressed, I'm going to put the 8th fret on the string above and catch it all. He says. Pause if you need to. This has been a really interesting study for me because I've played this song in bands for years, and sometimes as a musician you get asked to play the same songs over and over again, and this is like an absolute, for parties and weddings and things like that, you know, it's very rare that I play an engagement like that and I don't play JohnnyBGoode. And it's really interesting, you know, going back to it and making sure that my version was right. And over the years, it's moulded into a completely different thing. And other guitar players that have played for a while will probably sympathise with this. I had to go back and learn it properly again because I've been playing it to drunk people for too long. And it's kind of, it's still JohnnyBGoode, but it's not exactly what Chuck Berry's doing. And again, if we're doing it properly, we're doing it properly, aren't we? So, a little bit of a step up from the other stuff that we've done over Riffmas, but it's achievable, it's doable. If I can do it, anybody can, you know. But I wanted the last one of Riffmas to be a really sort of knock it out of the park. So let me know how you're getting on. Regarding Riffmas, there's still like another 2 weeks before we draw the, is it 2 weeks or is it 10 days maybe, before we draw the winner. So you've loads of time to get this under your fingers, and I'd love to see some people try this in the Facebook group. If you'd like me to do a full breakdown of the song, I think that might be a good idea, might it? Let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do within the next couple of months. I will see you shortly. I'm not sure how long because we're breaking up for Christmas now, but I will see you soon for another electric guitar lesson. Thank you so much.